Some people are just so incredibly talented and unique. And Ren is definitely one of them. Hello, my darlings. Yes, today's video is exceptionally long, but that's because this is an exceptional video. This is cram-packed with so much amazingness, and we're gonna watch it together. So buckle up, buttercups. We're gonna listen to Ren. This is technically Vincent's tale, the bedroom, but we also get Richard's tale in this as well, so there's quite the switch up. But before we do, just a friendly reminder to please like and subscribe. And with that said, let's get into it. Immediately makes me think of High Ren.
Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below, same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contorn insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vinny. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too DK.
The first thing that came to mind when, you know, he started playing the guitar, and then after the solo, the solo was pretty freaking sick, and he starts rapping, I am like, some people are just so incredibly talented and unique. And Ren is definitely one of them. In this, the amount, the, oh my God, these seamless transitions from one kind of section of, because it's all in the same verse, but within that verse there are so many switch ups that are seamlessly like intertwined together. It is just so freaking well done. The lyrics themselves are also so freaking well done. I I feel like every time I come into a Ren video, he baffles me in another way. Every single time. Let's look at the lyrics though. Let's look at I probably won't be able to get through. I mean, there's not too much, but there's quite a bit. So Vincent, obviously, Tale of Vincent. This one's called The Bedroom. I feel like, because I do like to go into these pretty blind. I have listened to the other two Vincent tales, so the prologue, Sunflowers, and then the other one was, where was it? There was another one. I remember he was in an alleyway for a portion of it. Self-portrait, that's what it was. So Sunflowers, self-portrait, and now this. It's the connection of, I don't actually know Vincent van Gogh's full story. I don't know if what some of the lyrics that Ren is saying is actually delivering that story or bits and pieces of that story, and kind of how Ren and Vincent van Gogh, they relate to each other in the sense that, you know, with artistic expression, not everybody gets it. Some people might think it's weird, or you know, they're odd, especially like growing up and stuff. So like I'm curious if he's having that connection and then kind of going into how that is so misunderstood. Looking at the intro, anger, have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it? Vincent felt cold, neglected, and jaded, impotent, empathy, castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside. Never look within, without, above, below, the same thing. Wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain can turn insane brains that are kind of deranged strange. That's, like, that is so freaking, that just is so satisfying to say out loud because of just how it all fits together. But when he talks about sane men living in insane terrain can turn insane brains that are kind of deranged strange, so fun. I think it's talking about, you know, when you say living in insane terrain, it feels like he's talking about the world and, you know, how the world is right now. And kind of with that, yeah, I feel like he's, you know, just talking about the world. The world's kind of crazy. I mean, throughout history, there's always something, you know, that is going on. So I'm sure Van Gogh had the same experience, but it's, yeah, the world's a bit crazy. Without a factor of cause and effect, factuality, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. So looking at that next verse, Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painting scars on her arms, track marks from the dragon china white in her palm. I'm assuming they're talking about maybe opium back then. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like a yarn, tumbled out himself unraveling, and that was the theme. So talking about Vincent's birth and how, which is very cool to kind of imagine him as a ball of yarn, and as he's coming out, he's unraveling, and then saying, and that was the theme, like that was the theme of his life, was he was just constantly unraveling. exceptionally average gray spray with low self-esteem from the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. I'm not sure what that means. When it's the cash that rules everything around me, cream, get the money, funny, Vinny, we weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stuck in start combustion. So maybe just talking about, he sounds like it. He grew up, kind of did the status quo job, and then was kind of slowly on the way to, combustion. Like he's not letting everything that he needs to out of him, in a sense. Nothing pulled him out of debt. The debt collectors rushed to be stripping him of everything. Okay, so he was in debt. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats. The days are weeks. The weeks are most of your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. So kind of, I think he referenced this in Self-Portrait, maybe, how it's that kind of 9 to 5 idea, monotony of how every day's the same. It's on repeat. It's a rerun, a deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Oh, Britain, Great Britain, hail Britannia, rule the waves. Rule the waves. Does that mean, like, I guess back then they had a lot of, Britain was, I think, they were in a whole bunch of different places in the world back then. Like in India and some parts of Africa, and I'm not, obviously in America. I'm not 100% sure where else, but I'm assuming rule the waves means kind of they were everywhere. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. So talking about self-medicating with alcohol, but it's all a vicious cycle because you drink to forget, but then you have to work in order to pay for those drinks, What helps you is what kills you when you're living to decay. So the drink helps you, but also is not good for you. And when you're living to decay, so kind of that idea of I'm just living. Like I'm not doing anything with my life. I'm kind of in this cycle of day after day, same thing, status quo, nothing changes, but time goes on. We are finite animals, mammals. We do expire eventually. But let's continue.
Kills you when you're living too decay.
This is really good so far. And he takes out a drink. Okay. Okay. And there's Van Gogh on the wall, and then the sunflowers on the wall as well. He's like, cheers, mate.
And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So we drink so we don't have to think. Mercy.
Oh my god.
Taste bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth, and the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose by decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze, who's who he lose himself to? 1 too many, 1 2 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Okay, I'm not going to talk for too long here, but that's such a good verse. Not only is it telling a story over a course of time, but the way that 40% proof, no juice, inhibition, get loose, bad decision, and taboos when we're living for the booze. Like, it's so It's so good. It really paints an image. And I love that one lyric. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder, sledgehammer swing to the chip on your shoulder. And it's just, man. So freaking good.
Boys round. Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up. Chop chop, keep that credit topped up. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9. Through his Christ timelines intersect rich as fate was designed.
Oh my god. Okay, for one, this is like 2 videos. This is like 2 completely separate songs in one, in a sense, because not only obviously the music switches up, but the way that Ren performs, the way that he is singing, his tone in his voice. Like, there was a section. Okay, so this is Richard's Tale then. Oh my god. Okay, I was like, where? I'm like, why are the lyrics not there? Why are they there? Huh? Okay, Richard's Tale. Oh my god. Okay, I didn't realize we were gonna get Richard's Tale as well in this. Oh my god. Holy moly cannoli. Okay. The video was named one thing, so I made an assumption. But you know what assuming does? Makes it out of you and me, but not you, because this is just a me problem. Okay. Holy moly. Okay, so the way, especially, okay. Ren. We're gonna go to where we just left off. Oh yeah, I think it was the 1 to the 3 to, like he had a kind of like a vocal break going on.
Fallen on the warpath, Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up. Chop chop, keep that credit topped up. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. His own web-fed tarantulas come. Virginity, the one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3.
1 to the 2 to the 3. Like, it has this kind of vocal break. Obviously, I'm not doing it properly, but he has this vocal break in there. You have this like going on in the background almost, like in certain sections. You've got this very dark beat going on. Like, it's such a flip. It is such a flip. Siren starts singing as the screws murder silence stands on my Miranda, my right to remain violent. So play on, I'm going to read you your Miranda rights. You have the right to remain silent, but he says the right to remain violent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop, chop. Keep that credit topped up. Money in, time is money, tick-tock. So again, coming back to that, also the theme of, you know, money runs the world. Which, I mean, it's not necessarily wrong. Quantify the price of your soul, then it's chop, chop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life as a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned our hide to a jackal. So kind of talking about the two sides, like having the hi, my name's Vinny, and then the dark side of that. Dark side of himself. Building pressure in a kettle bubble up to a boiling level. So he's kind of reaching his cap before he combusts, as they kind of said in the previous verse, or the previous section, which was Vincent's tale. Now we're in Richard's tale. This was really interesting. Never mind just a victim of society, the one that serves you alcohol, then sells you your sobriety, the one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity, and the ones where we elect these lying pests with gullibility. So just calling out, oh, what is it called? Yeah, hypocrisies, like hypocrite. The hypocrisies of society is basically, he's calling them out on stuff, you know? 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1, our boy spun his own web, fed tarantulas come like 9 to 9 to 9 for his crimes. I'm not 100% sure about this one. Timelines intersect, Richard's fate was designed. I'm so sorry this video is so long, but I'm like, there's so much lyrically and how he's performing and the switches that he's making, the music itself, like, so much going on.
The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1, our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes timelines.
There's that vocal break again.
Richard's fate was designed. Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and read. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Thoughts a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absent leave. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go. When his friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy seem to plateau. When his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono rebound no yo-yo, and so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the records seem to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, the fate fucked up. Richard's losing sleep while his whole family's talked up.
Oh my god, the way that he switches in there again. So 1, he takes on paint the picture, set the scene. It's 2019. So I think that scene is from, I mean, in Sunflowers, they had 2 kind of sets in that, or multiple sets. I think it's from Self-Portrait. And then Screech, Jenny and Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. Sibling buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memory. Thoughts are muddled. Troubled sleep takes a time of absent leave. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow, so coming back to the alcoholism. When the war's with yourself, there's nowhere to go, and his friends are the force they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy regularly, seems to plateau. So I think it's kind of like he's went to therapy and he seems fine. He's not as bad as he was. So it's just kind of plateaued. There's no he's already went as much up as he's going to go, at least for that point in time, or so it seems. This popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mo. This is the part where he switches, so he goes from his kind of hitting the bottle to soften the blow. When the war's with yourself, then there's nowhere to go. So you kind of have a very similar rhythm to some of the other stuff, and then he switches it up. Like, he seems to have kind of like a bass rhythm that he kind of keeps going back to, and then there's certain sections where he just completely switches it up. So then when he gets to this next section, he gets really fast in terms of pace. Like, he really speeds it up in comparison. And then he's talking about brother killed his sister, but the record seems to show. So talking about the murder. But let's continue.
While his whole family's talk.
Okay, so this is showing the therapy.
The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger down the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all a damn forsaken by creation, revelations Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal, but slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud, cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
And that's how they ended. Holy moly cannoli. Jesus. The way that he goes through all the different stages is also quite genius. Because they are just so seamlessly connected. I also really like the way that how he chooses to perform the video, because a lot of it too is one camera kind of following him throughout the motions of the scene, like him stage 1 grief, or I think it was, no, stage 1 denial. He's over on one side of the bedroom, and then the next stage he gets up close to Richard and has the I think what was the second stage? Whatever the second stage is, they follow him from the one side of the room to Richard, and then he falls back, and all of it is kind of like steady cammed with him. And he not only is he makes really interesting, unique, and really good music, and writes phenomenal lyrics, but also his performances are also just like right up there. So all around, that is freaking amazing. I mean, we're like 30 minutes in, and I'm like, you could probably go through this again and you could pick apart every little thing not in a bad way, but with what it connects to with other videos, what he means by certain things. There's so much in here. So I would definitely recommend going and checking out the original video for yourself and seeing, you know, what you can pick out of it, because there is so much going on. But I really, really enjoyed that. I think that was phenomenal. And I want to say thank you guys so much for recommending this. I hope you enjoyed my reaction to this. And if you did, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you cutie patooties in the next one. Bye, y'all.